Have you ever felt like peace is always slipping through your fingers, just when you think you've grasped it? In this world filled with endless noise, deadlines, and the pressure to constantly measure up, it's no surprise that we often link our worth to how hard we're striving. But what if the true path to contentment isn't found by pushing forward, but by letting go? Buddhist wisdom has echoed through centuries, gently reminding us, what's meant for you doesn't need to be chased. It will come, not when you demand it, but when your heart is open enough to welcome it. In today's video, we're diving into a truth that many overlook. Letting go isn't a sign of giving up, it's a sign of awakening. Could it be that what you're clinging to is quietly holding you back? Through this reflective journey, we'll uncover the strength hidden in surrender. Because sometimes, life begins not when you grab tighter, but when you finally release. And remember this, you don't need to force what's already aligned with your path. Stay with us until the end. There's a powerful insight waiting just for you. Lesson 1. Letting go is power, not surrender. We grow up being told to hustle, to chase dreams, push through pain, and build a future brick by brick. So we run after careers, relationships, and some ideal version of ourselves we think will finally make us feel complete. But have you ever considered that the running itself might be what's wearing you down? Real strength doesn't always look like striving. Sometimes it looks like softening, not collapsing, but releasing. Picture a river. It doesn't crash through mountains, it curves around them. It doesn't resist the rocks, it flows past them. It yields, not because it's weak, but because it understands something deeper. Force isn't the only way forward. Can you say the same for your life? According to Buddhist teaching, suffering often arises not from what happens to us, but from our refusal to accept what is. We grasp tightly. We try to control every outcome. We resist the present moment. But as a Zen master once said, to let go is not to throw away, it's to allow. There was once a man whose world collapsed. He lost his job, his partner, and the image of who he thought he was supposed to be. Desperate to fix everything, he tried new paths, filled his days with distractions, and told himself it would all work out. But the harder he tried to hold his life together, the more fragmented he felt. Then, one quiet evening, he simply sat still and whispered, "I don't know anymore." And just like that, something shifted. Not outside, but within. He stopped fighting, and in that stillness, peace came. Not because life changed, but because he did. You see, the beauty of surrender isn't in giving up. It's in waking up. It's in the moment you stop controlling and start seeing clearly. Right now, you might be carrying something heavy, grief, uncertainty, the echo of a broken dream. Ask yourself gently, what are you holding on to that no longer serves you? Is it a version of success that was never truly yours? A relationship that lingers in your thoughts long after it ended? A self-image shaped by what others expected of you? Letting go doesn't mean losing. It means allowing space for truth, clarity, and renewal. Buddhism doesn't ask us to abandon our hopes. It asks us to loosen our grip, to stop tying our happiness to outcomes. Because true peace isn't found by steering life in your direction. It's found by moving in rhythm with life itself. The less you resist the current, the more you're carried to where you were always meant to arrive. So pause for a moment. Inhale. Exhale. You don't need to solve it all today. Maybe clarity isn't missing. It's just quiet beneath your need to be in control. Try this. For just one day, don't chase anything. Not perfection, not productivity, not love. Just be. Let life unfold naturally, without pushing. Because spiritual growth doesn't begin when you grasp harder. It begins when you let go. And maybe, just maybe, the moment you stop running, life catches up to you. Lesson 2. The present moment is where life begins. You might find yourself constantly reaching toward a better job, a deeper love, a future where everything finally feels calm. But strangely, The more you chase those things, the more distant they seem, like trying to capture sunlight in your hands. The tighter you grasp, the more it slips away. Buddhist wisdom reminds us of a simple truth. The past is a memory. The future is an idea. Only this moment, right here, right now, is real. Yet most of us are not fully here. We drift in thought, planning tomorrow, regretting yesterday, rarely landing fully in the only space where peace can exist, the present. You don't need a better future. What you truly need is a deeper awareness of now. There was once a young woman drowning in doubt. Her dreams hadn't unfolded the way she imagined. Her relationship had ended. Her sense of direction was broken. Her mind was filled with worries. What could have been? What might never be? Nothing changed until one quiet afternoon. She sat beneath a tree, closed her eyes, and began to listen. She heard the wind brushing through the leaves, the rhythm of her own breath, the birds in the distance. And for the first time in a long time, she felt alive. Not because her problems disappeared, but because she finally arrived in her life. In this breath, in this moment. Presence didn't erase her pain, but it reminded her that she wasn't broken. She was simply absent from herself, because peace doesn't wait in the next moment. It lives here. The present is like sunlight, warm, powerful, healing. But when we hide in memories or fears, we miss its warmth. We miss our life. Being present isn't something extra for peaceful days. It's essential. It's where joy is born. Every breath is not just passing time. It's an invitation to come home to yourself. Ask yourself this: are you living inside your thoughts, or are you actually here, awake in your life? How many quiet miracles have passed you by while you were busy imagining better ones? If you're feeling lost, uncertain, unsure of who you're becoming, that's okay. Just know, the answer isn't waiting at the finish line. It's already here, hidden beneath your breath, in this moment, asking for your attention. You don't need to fix everything. You just need to stop abandoning the only place life ever happens, now. As the Buddha once taught, do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. Not because those other places don't matter, but because they don't exist yet. The present is the only doorway to your real life. So here's your challenge today. Return to the now. Whether you're sipping your morning tea, walking through your neighborhood, or listening to a loved one, be all there. Let that moment meet you fully. Don't rush past it, because the peace you're searching for, it's not out there. It's resting just beneath the noise, waiting for you to listen. You don't need to chase life. You only need to awaken to it. And when you do, you'll realize you were never truly lost. You just hadn't arrived yet. Lesson 3. You are not your thoughts. You are the sky beyond the storm. You've been living inside a whirlwind, mistaking the storm in your mind for your true self. The thunder of doubt, the rain of fear, the fog of insecurity. But what if I told you, you are not the storm. You are the sky. Vast, steady, open. And no matter how loud the storm rages, the sky remains untouched. You are not your thoughts. You are the one witnessing them. We've been raised to believe that every thought must mean something. If the mind says, you're not good enough, we believe it. If it whispers, you'll never be loved, we hold on to that like it's a sacred truth. But Buddhist teachings remind us, your thoughts are not the truth. They're just visitors. As the Buddha said, watch the mind, but do not become the mind. That simple shift can free you. There was once a man grieving deeply. He felt unloved, unworthy, broken beyond repair. Those thoughts circled him like vultures, day and night. Until one evening, he did something different. He sat still and simply watched the thoughts come and go. He didn't fight them. He didn't judge them. He just noticed them, like clouds floating across a vast sky. And slowly, something shifted. He saw clearly. The pain wasn't from the thoughts themselves, but from believing every word. This is what most of us miss. We suffer not because of what happens, but because of the stories we tell ourselves about what happens. Your mind will create noise. It's what it does. But you don't have to obey every thought. Not every "I can't," "I failed," or "I'll never change" is real. They're echoes of fear, not facts. You might be in the middle of something difficult, a relationship ending, a job lost, a season of confusion, and your mind may be screaming things that feel unbearable. But here's a quiet truth. You don't have to believe it. Thoughts are habits, not destiny. And when you stop identifying with them, you reconnect to something much deeper, your inner stillness. You are not broken. You are simply overwhelmed by voices that are not you. This is where mindfulness becomes your refuge. You don't need to silence the storm. You just need to remember, you are not the storm. Try this. The next time a thought arises, whether it's doubt, fear, or shame, don't wrestle with it. Don't agree with it. Just breathe. Notice it. Say gently, a thought, and let it pass. Because that pause, that space between you and the thought, that's where freedom lives. That's where peace breathes. Your thoughts are like guests at your door. They may knock, they may enter, but you don't have to serve them dinner. And you certainly don't have to let them run your house. The moment you stop chasing control and start observing instead of attaching, you find your power again. You find the still, open sky that was never damaged by the storm. So the next time your mind becomes loud, remember this. You are not the noise. You are the quiet. You are not the storm. You are the sky. Fourth acceptance, the doorway to inner peace. There's a part of you that just wants the pain to end. You want the ache of heartbreak to stop. You want the confusion to clear. You want the failure to feel like a lesson, not a life sentence. And deep down, your heart is shouting, please, just make this go away. But what if healing doesn't come from escaping what hurts? What if it comes from being with it, fully, gently, and without resistance? In Buddhist teaching, there's a simple truth. Whatever you push away, pushes back harder. But what you embrace, transforms. This isn't a poetic idea. It's a lifeline for the soul. Picture your pain like a fire. If you flail and fight against it, it burns you. But if you step close with presence and curiosity, the fire softens. It becomes warmth, even light. You stop being a prisoner of your suffering and become a witness to it. But that shift only happens when you stop trying to erase the pain and begin to listen to it. Sometimes we don't need our pain to disappear. We just need to stop treating it like a mistake. There's a story of a young man who lost everything: his partner, his job, his sense of direction. For months, he numbed out, distracted himself, searched for something to fix the emptiness, but nothing helped. Until one night, exhausted and broken, he just sat in silence. No more fixing, no more fleeing. And from that silence came a whisper, I'm hurting, and maybe that's okay. That moment didn't erase the pain, but it changed the way it lived in him. He stopped resisting, and something inside him softened. So ask yourself, can you sit with what hurts without needing to change it? The real agony often isn't the pain itself. It's the battle we fight against it. We're taught to distract ourselves, to medicate the ache, to pretend we're okay. But in doing that, we bury the pain, and what we bury tends to grow. In Buddhist practice, we don't try to erase suffering. We meet it, gently, openly, without judgment. You don't have to like the pain. You just have to stop running from it. That's when the sacred shift begins. Your pain becomes your teacher, not your tormentor. Many of you are in the middle of change, trying to shed the past, trying to step into clarity. But instead of asking, how do I fix this? What if you asked, can I allow this? What if peace isn't found in the next solution, but in this moment, exactly as it is? Acceptance isn't weakness. It's strength without struggle. It's meeting reality with presence, not resistance. Because peace doesn't arrive when everything is perfect. It arrives when you stop demanding perfection. Here's your reflection. The next time pain rises, pause. Don't run. Don't label it. Just breathe. Be with it. Whisper to yourself, this too belongs. Because healing doesn't wait until the pain is gone. It begins the moment you stop resisting it. 5. In stillness, your true strength awakens. You've been running, chasing answers, approval, goals that always seem just out of reach. You fill your calendar, check your phone, chase achievement after achievement, hoping that something, someday, will quiet the noise inside. But it never does it? Here's the quiet truth. The peace you're looking for isn't waiting out there. It's already within you, but you have to be still enough to hear it. Buddhist wisdom reminds us, when the heart becomes silent, truth begins to speak. Most of us miss it, not because it's hidden, but because we're too loud to notice. Picture a lake on a windy day. Its surface is chaotic, unable to reflect anything. But when the wind dies down, the lake becomes a mirror. It reveals the sky, the moon, the stars. Your mind is just like that. The restlessness, the doubt, the overthinking. These are ripples, and they don't disappear by force. They settle when you become still. There's a story of a woman lost in uncertainty. Her relationship had fallen apart. Her work felt empty. She went to a monk and asked, "What should I do?" He didn't offer advice. He simply said, "Go sit by the river. Be still. Breathe." Confused, she argued, "But I need clarity, not silence." He replied, "Then silence is exactly what you need." She sat, day after day. At first, her thoughts screamed at her. The silence felt like failure. But gradually, something changed. Her mind quieted. Her heart softened. She didn't find the answer. It found her. Not in the noise of searching, but in the space of stillness. So ask yourself, when was the last time you simply sat, not to fix, achieve, or distract, but to be? We live in a world that idolizes speed, hustle, constant productivity, but real power, the kind that shifts your life, comes not from movement, but from presence. That's where insight is born. Not when you force it, but when you make space for it. Stillness isn't laziness. It's the art of giving your full attention to one thing, sipping tea, feeling your breath, walking slowly with awareness. In these quiet acts, something deeper begins to stir. Your nervous system resets. Your inner voice, once drowned out, starts to return. You don't need to figure out your life. You need to feel it, to allow it, to let go of chasing clarity so it can come find you. Here's your invitation. Set aside just 5 minutes today. No agenda, no meditation technique. Just sit, watch, listen. Let your thoughts come and go like clouds drifting across the sky. Boredom, fear, restlessness, let them pass. Underneath it all, you'll find a knowing that doesn't come from thinking. It comes from remembering. Stillness is not the absence of movement. It is the presence of truth. And when your mind becomes calm like a quiet lake, it begins to reflect everything clearly, including who you truly are. Stop reaching outward. Start listening inward. That's where the real power lives. 6. You were never missing, only misled. So much of life feels like a race to be enough. You reach for love, for validation, for some external moment to finally confirm your worth. You whisper, "Once I have that, then I'll feel complete." But no matter how much you chase, the finish line keeps moving. Why? Because you're searching outside for something that was never missing inside. Buddhist wisdom teaches this quietly profound truth. What you seek has always been within the one who's seeking. It's like a candle, already glowing, trying to chase the sun for light. You're not incomplete. You've just forgotten you're already whole. From early on, the world conditioned you to earn worth, to perform, to improve, to become someone better. Approval replaced awareness. So you learned to wear masks, to shape yourself into what others seem to want. But behind all that effort, there's a quieter question rising. Wasn't I already enough? There's a story of a monk who handed a student a full teacup and kept pouring. As the tea overflowed, the student panicked. "Stop, it's spilling everywhere." The monk smiled and said, "So is your life. But you keep pouring more expectations, more roles, more self-doubt, into something that's already full. To reconnect with your wholeness, you don't need to add anything. You need to clear away what was never yours to begin with. Beneath the layers of striving and comparison is a quiet radiance, a presence that was never broken, only buried. Pause and ask yourself, are you trying to become something, or are you trying to remember who you've always been? Wholeness isn't found in perfection, it's found in presence, in looking at yourself without harshness, in standing tall without apology, in choosing to honor yourself instead of trying to constantly fix yourself. Yes, you'll grow, but your growth doesn't need to come from emptiness. When you believe you're already enough, your actions become love in motion, not desperation in disguise. You create because your soul feels alive. You love because you are love, not because you need to be chosen. What if nothing is broken in you, only hidden? The noise of comparison, the rush of always trying to be better, the pressure to prove, these aren't who you are. They're interference. And when you sit in stillness long enough to listen, you'll remember, you were always the light. You just forgot you didn't have to chase it. So stop molding yourself into a version that the world might approve of. Come home to the truth that has always waited quietly inside you. You were never behind. You were never lacking. You were never unworthy. A candle doesn't look for the sun to shine. It glows because that's what it's made to do. And once you remember that, once you stop seeking and start being, life stops feeling like a chase and starts feeling like a return. 7. Let go of the mask. Return to your true nature. For years, you've worn a name, a story, a label, so tightly, so consistently, that it feels like truth. I'm the overachiever. I'm the one who's always hurt. I'm the one people leave. You've said it so often, it's become your identity. But what if it's not who you are at all? Not your title, not your pain, not your past. Buddhist wisdom gently reminds us, you are not a role, not a thought, not a story. You are the awareness behind all of it. Like the sea doesn't mistake a single wave for its entire being, you are far greater than any moment you've lived or label you've accepted. There's an old story of a sculptor. When asked how he carved a lion from a block of stone, he replied, "I simply chipped away everything that wasn't the lion." Awakening is like that. It's not about adding more. It's about shedding what was never truly you. You weren't born as an identity. You were born as open space, as presence. But the world handed you roles: student, overthinker, failure, people pleaser. One by one you tried them on, and then forgot you were wearing them. So pause and ask yourself, which labels have you accepted that are actually limiting your growth? Maybe it's, I can't change. Maybe it's, I always mess things up. These aren't truths, they're inherited thoughts, old echoes, and the more you protect them, the more they define you. Buddhism teaches, what we cling to becomes our cage. But what if you loosened your grip? What if, for just a moment, you stopped identifying as the pain, and instead recognized the space in which the pain simply arises and passes? You are not your suffering. You are the stillness that holds the suffering. You are not the thought. You are the awareness that notices it. Everything else can shift. Your job, your relationships, even your personality. but the one constant, that quiet watcher within, the open sky behind every passing cloud, that's you. And when you return to that center, you stop trying to prove anything. You stop chasing approval or polishing an image. You begin to live from presence, not performance. This isn't about erasing your past. It's about unhooking from the belief that it defines you. You can still grow, still love, still change, but not from fear, from freedom. So ask yourself, who are you without the old story? Not hollow, not broken, but spacious, open, whole. When you stop identifying with the costume, you remember you're the consciousness beneath it. The ocean doesn't cling to any wave. It flows with all of them, calm, wild, alive, complete. Let this be your invitation. You are not your job, not your pain, not your reputation. You are the space that holds it all, clear, aware, and free. Drop the identity, embrace the essence. That's where the real you has always been, waiting. Bonus insight. Real compassion starts with you. There was once a man who traveled the world in search of peace. He visited temples, studied under masters, and filled countless journals with sacred teachings. Yet deep inside, he remained restless, always feeling like something essential was missing. One day, weary and defeated, he sat beneath a tree and simply stopped searching. In the quiet, he realized something profound. The peace he longed for had never been lost. It had only been ignored. What he had been seeking in distant lands was already quietly present within him. That moment revealed a timeless truth. Compassion isn't something you give to the world by emptying yourself. True compassion begins by turning inward. We're taught that to be kind, we must be selfless, that real goodness means putting others before ourselves. And while generosity is beautiful, constantly giving without pausing to refill your own soul only leads to exhaustion. You cannot light the world if your flame is burning out. So ask yourself honestly, do you treat yourself with the same gentleness you give to others? You forgive your friends when they stumble. You cheer them on when they doubt themselves. But when you fall short, do you offer the same grace? Or do you tighten the grip of criticism, holding yourself to impossible standards? We often confuse self-compassion with selfishness, but Buddhism teaches the opposite. To truly love others, you must first be at peace with yourself, not in a way that feeds ego, but in a way that nourishes the heart. Self-compassion means accepting your imperfections without judgment. It means being patient with your healing, forgiving your past, and recognizing that growth doesn't require perfection, only presence. When you begin treating yourself with the tenderness you've always reserved for others, something shifts. You fill your own cup, not to hoard it, but so it can overflow. From that place, kindness flows naturally. You no longer give from depletion, but from abundance. Imagine your life if, instead of criticizing yourself for every mistake, you said, "It's okay, I'm still learning." If you offered yourself encouragement, not punishment. If you allowed yourself to simply be human, flawed, evolving, and still deeply worthy. Peace doesn't arrive when everything outside you is fixed. It arrives when your inner voice softens. Self-compassion creates the space for healing. It quiets the noise of shame and doubt. It welcomes you back home to yourself. And here's the beautiful truth. When you embrace who you are, completely, unapologetically, you no longer chase life. Life begins to meet you where you are. You stop seeking approval because you already know your value. You stop running because you finally feel safe where you stand. So start there, with you. Be kind to the person you spend your whole life with. Fill your own heart, and watch how effortlessly you begin to uplift others. Not because you must, but because you are full enough to give freely. So if you've been searching, striving, or silently struggling, let this be your reminder. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are simply being called inward, to return to the peace that was never lost, only buried beneath the noise. Let go of the chase, Let go of the story and just be fully